What is PAG, MPAG, ECR, NAG, and what does it all mean for me? Today, this video will clarify all those acronyms and more. So for those tuning in with just limited knowledge of the government approval process, here's the oversimplified version of the process. Now, the reason this video exists is because there's a process for newer technologies that throw in a few steps of certification delay that looks like this in the red boxes. When do you need these extra steps? There's a public list of these on the FCC site, and I put a link to find the FCC KDB 3888624D02, but I'll list a few here that I've worked with. Numerical simulations. If you're planning to use numerical simulations for your FCC approval, you need a PAG over 6 gigahertz. If you have a product operating near the body that has frequencies above 6 gigahertz, like Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7 in the upper uniband 5, 6, 7, or 8, you need a PAG. Or if you have dynamic power control mechanisms like time average SAR or duty factors, and you want to use those to show compliance, you need a PAG. If your antenna uses dynamic antenna tuning to optimize performance and efficiency on the fly, you need a PAG. If your product has multiple levels of output power calls up based on a variety of user conditions, for example, maybe the device cuts the power in half when the phone knows it's in a voice call, but when hotspot's on and the voice call's on, then it cuts up down further. How does it know that it's being tested in the right way in the lab? And most manufacturers have creative solutions to help itself differentiate when a product is used on the hand or the body or the head. And sometimes information from motion sensors are used. And sometimes on the antenna itself is a mechanism to detect the change of capacitance when it's in someone's hand and it touches right on top of the antenna. And the FCC says that if any sensors are used in order to reduce the power for SAR compliance purposes, then it needs a PAG. If the product can aggregate 2 or more non-contiguous channels at any time, it needs a PAG. Wireless power transfer applications. If the product can act like a wireless power transfer charger of other devices, it requires a PAG. And this includes phone-to-phone charging, phone-to-watch, phone-to-stylus, devices only used by the state, local, or federal government. Waivers, so devices that are allowed under a waiver and that they follow KDB 502150. And under some circumstances, near pin-to-pin compatible part substitutions were allowed, especially during the pandemic, where there's supply chain issues for everybody. Those need a PAG. For non-Part 95 med radio medical implants that have power, total maximum power more than 1 milliwatt, it requires PAG. And there's ultra-wideband devices under Part 15F. Those need a PAG. And for Part 30 in the 27 to 40 gigahertz range, like 5G FR2, those need PAG. For 5 gigahertz operations for Uni 4 band, those need PAG. And for Uni 6 gigahertz, which are any original grants operating in Uni 5, 6, 7, or 8, reaching as a little over 7 gigahertz, those need PAG. Or even radar and field disturbance sensors under Part 15255, those need PAG. So sometimes one product has one or more of these items that trigger PAG and has a well-defined approval schedule in advance. So FCC has a special process called MPAG that gets a little special treatment to help streamline this process, but it only counts as a MPAG if it has 4 or more PAG items, and the schedule for certification is several months in advance. And I want to explain a few new terms I think the FCC will define a little more clearly this upcoming fall. But based on the last spring's workshop, here's the gist of it. So NAG stands for New Application Guidance, which is an inquiry submitted knowing you need PAG, but you want to get ahead of it so that when you submit to the FCC, it's pretty much been mostly reviewed already. And so what happens is that the test plan is already set, and it's just a matter of checking the reports in alignment when it comes to the NAG being used for a PAG. Now, ECR is a new term, but it's just KDB inquiries that are submitted because there's published KDBs that require an inquiry, and that's it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's automatically PAG. So your TCB will have to determine whether it could avoid PAG or if it most likely require PAG based on the inquiry contents. So the final word is, I hope you can join us all at the TCB workshop that's being held in Baltimore, October 23rd to 26th. And I'm giving several sessions about the topic about SAR and approvals in person. And I'd love to talk with you more if you're there, attending there, or even if you're going there virtually. As always, feel free to ask me questions, whether through the comments or LinkedIn, and hopefully I'll see you all soon.